Hello everybody, this is Tiffany Almeida with the Pretty and Paper Crafts, and this is our technique video number 3. This is our card in a box. So as you can see, I've got my little party pandas. They are ready to crash any birthday party they find, and basically the card folds flat and can fit inside of a regular standard envelope, but when they get their card, it will pop up and the pandas will come right out to party. So this is a super fun card to make, and I'm going to show you guys how you can surprise your friend with an awesome birthday card just like this. All right, so let me go over the different materials that you have in your kit, and I just want to make sure everything's laid out for you so you know what is what. So don't start stamping and cutting until we know exactly what is what. Okay, so you are going to have a glitter explosion. This is the new glimmer paper in the Myths and Magic stamps, or in the, Myths and Magic suite in the Occasions catalog. So there's white, lemon lime, and Bermuda Bay. So you'll have some balloons, and you're gonna have a few scraps of paper. And these are what we're going to stamp and cut out our pandas with. Okay, you'll also have 2 long strips of Bermuda Bay. They are measured at 1 by 3 1/8, and they should be scored. Mine aren't scored yet, but they should be scored at 1/2 inch on both sides. Okay, so then you have some pieces that look like this. So you're going to have, make sure you match up things before you start stamping, because these pieces may get confused with this piece, but they're not going to fit like that piece. So you would actually have to cut it, but this one fits with the orange perfectly bordering the paper. Okay, and then you're going to have 4 more orange squares. They're going to be a little bit shorter, and you're going to have, you should have 4 of these. Wow, my counting's off. Let me grab one of those, one more of those. Okay, and it's just the back side of the candle piece. So there you go. So that is what you should have in your kit, along with your card base, which looks like this. It's Bermuda Bay, and it's been scored already for you. The Bermuda Bay piece measures 5.5 by 9. So unfortunately, you can only make one of these cards with one piece of cardstock. You can't get 2 out of the same piece. So that's a bit of a bummer. Okay, so I am going to just move these pieces up a little bit so we can get started on assembling our box. Now, the way that you want to assemble this box is by cutting out the shorter. I'm going to fold this so you can see it. It truly is shorter than the other half. And so you're going to cut out this entire first panel. See, if I scored it, you could see it better. See, there's this little tab here. You're going to cut this entire piece out. Like so. Okay, and then only on the short side, not on the long side. So again, we know it's short because when we fold it over, it's smaller. You're going to cut up the score lines to the center score line. And these will be our flaps that open. Don't cut them at an angle. Don't cut little V's on this particular box, because these are going to be our flaps of our card. All right, so there's that. And now we want to finish folding the rest of our sides, and a bone folder is really good for this. Like so. And then these guys need to come out. I should have taped down my mat. It's moving on me. Okay. So there's your pieces. And before we glue anything down, we need to glue our panels on. It will just be easier to glue our panels on when they're when it's flat. So I've got my panels. I've got 2 of my panels. There's my other 2. Okay, and you do not want this edge to be Actually, you do want this. You want this edge to be where your happy birthday goes. So we'll stamp that before we glue that on, but let's go ahead and glue our other panels on. So I'm just putting some adhesive on my orange candles, my candle piece onto my orange base. Just like so. I'm not doing a very good job centering these. Sorry, guys. Okay. And like, oh, well, that one was really not centered. Hopefully, we can shift it without ruining it. There we go. Okay. And now we need to do some stamping. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp my happy birthday and my 3 pandas. So we get that out of the way. All right, so I've got my Bermuda Bay ink because my happy birthday's in Bermuda Bay. So I've got my stamp set, grabbing my happy birthday, got my block. And I'm just going to center it here. Fortunately, I haven't glued this piece down to the orange piece, so if I had messed up, I could have flipped it over and stamped it again and then glued it down and everything. Nobody would have been the wiser. So I always say stamp first when you can and then glue because sometimes we make mistakes. I know that never happens to anybody but me, but sometimes. Okay, so I've got that stamped. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my pandas. Now you need Memento ink. Because we're going to color his little hat and things like that. And so when I use my blends, I need to use Memento. You're like, yeah, Tiffany, we know this already. Okay, and don't stamp any of the pandas except the panda with the balloon on the tall piece because you need a little bit more space to stamp his balloon. Okay, so got my dancing panda, my party panda. You want to make sure your pandas are good and inked, because it is difficult to get the full black space all the way black. Okay, and then I'm going to take him off. I'll clean those later. And I need my panda with this little love note. Inking that up really good. Making sure, look like his arm and his ear are not inked yet. I've got to keep, you can even smudge, like twist. Make sure you got him on there. Stamp him down. Okay, and then we got to do our balloon panda. Need a bigger block for him because his balloon is so tall. Okay. And my blocks need to be cleaned. I'm sorry about that, guys. It's like, ew, it's all over her block. It's adhesive from my stamps. But it's the only way I can get him to stick down, so I don't mind it. I'd rather my stamp stay in place. Okay, so here we go. Put his little body down. Don't want to press too hard. Boom. There he is. Okay. And I'll clean those in a bit. But move the ink out of the way because I'm dangerous with the open thing of ink. All right, so now we can glue down our happy birthday piece. And then we'll start cutting our pandas once we've got them colored. Okay, and while I'm here, I'm just gonna glue these panels down because they're ready. Now remember, we're using the taller pieces with the candles because they're gonna go on the bottom panels of the base because they're a little bit taller than the flaps. So you'll just center that between the score lines and lay that down. I've got my candles to do. Okay, 2 down, 2 to go. It's gonna be an awesome birthday card to give to somebody. I know who I'm giving mine to. Do you know who you're gonna give yours to? So much fun. I have to be careful at work though, because if I give somebody like an extravagant card, it means I have to give everybody an extravagant card. There's like a whole social order to this whole crazy madness. Okay, now let's look and see how we colored our pandas. So, oh, I even did some stamping on my panda. You see this? His little card says hi, so I need to stamp him hi in there. This little guy, he's holding a sparkly balloon, so I'll show you how we did that. And then he has his Bermuda Bay party hat on, so we'll color his hat with Bermuda Bay blend ink. So getting my handy dandy Bermuda Bay blend, I'm going to color a little party panda's hat. Oh, and I kind of did it a little bit opposite this time. I colored his polka dots Bermuda Bay, and that's okay. We will go with that. I can even do some pool party behind it. You have both of, if you purchase the suggested supply list, you have both of these colors. So there, now he's good. And Bermuda and pool party is behind the candles, so it still works with the card. Okay, and then I want to color his little heart in his envelope here. And then we need to get our hi stamped on Bermuda Bay. So I've got a little tiny block, and you can see there's a little hi in the panda set, and it's going to fit just perfectly inside of our envelope. So getting my Bermuda Bay ink out again and praying that my little stamp sticks to the block. And it's not going to. Behave. Oh gosh. Okay. Technical difficulties. Hi, there he is. Okay. Now we'll cover this, close this case. All right, so now what we have to do is some fussy cutting. I know you're gonna hate me, but the pandas look so much cuter when they're cut out and partying without all that paper behind them. So go ahead and cut your pandas. Take one of the smaller Bermuda Bay balloons, and I'm going to just glue that over the balloon that he's holding. And I'm going to use liquid glue because this glimmer paper is a little bit thicker and it has a shiny back to it, and I just want it to stick really well. Okay, so got my little balloon, and I'm going to trim off that little extra. Actually, I'll just slide it down a little bit more so it covers it completely. So he's got that. And because it's, again, that shiny material, it's going to take a little bit to dry. So I'm just going to leave, I'm going to set that aside. Okay, so we've got our pandas. Now what we need to do is flip over our base. I'm going to get all my scraps out of the way here. So flipping over our base card. We've got our candles and our happy birthday. We're flipping it over, and we'll be gluing our other panel pieces to these top flaps. So we'll bring back our pieces here. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? Now I have an extra one. Okay. Okay. Someone's trying to make me feel like I'm losing my mind. Okay. So I've got my pieces. I'm putting adhesive on the backs and gluing them down to those smaller Peekaboo Peach squares. And I feel like we should be mindful of the way the triangles are pointing and have them all pointing in the same direction. But you do not have to do it that way. You could do it however you want. You can do it at completely random, or you could have them all pointing in, pointing out. You can have them crisscross, like one's pointing in, the other one's pointing out. I don't care. Mine will all point in like my original did. And I will show you what the heck I'm talking about here as soon as I get this glued down. So we've got our, man, my paper's really moving on me, isn't it? Okay. So now we need to put adhesive on the back of these. It's not gonna let me. Runner, cooperate, okay. I love our sticky adhesive. It really holds our projects together, but it also holds our fingers to the projects. Okay, so if I want my arrows pointing in towards the inside of the box, then this is how they would lay. So they would point down. So I'm just centering them up and gluing them down. So again, pointing down and pointing down and pointing down. Because it's the inside of the box. See that? That's what we're going to do. So now we're going to put some very strong adhesive, either fast fuse or tear and tape, on the flap. Oh goodness. On the flap of the box. Get my fast fuse up working. Come on. Okay. And then there's a really easy way to assemble this, and that is by just folding it in and folding the other piece in, and it should just line up perfectly. You can just close it shut, just like so. All right, so now we have our box. Woohoo! Now we need to fill it with pandas. And before I do that, remember I told you have these two 1 inch, or yeah, 1 inch by 3 1/8 inch, and they're scored at a 1/2 inch. I need to score mine so that it is like yours and ready to go. So I'm just scoring using my trimmer blades, my Stampin' Trimmer. I'm just scoring at a 1/2 inch. Okay, and the reason that I'm doing that is because these are going to be the inside pieces that our panda are going to attach to. So do you see the two lines inside the box? That's what I glue my pandas and balloons to. So I've got them, both of them, scored and folded. So now I'm going to put some strong adhesive, because they're going to be holding everything. Strong adhesive on the flaps. Like so. And then make sure your front of your card is facing you. Don't want it to be sideways. You want it to be facing you, and you want to slide it in the card and not too far down. You want it to be fairly close to the top, but just slide it into the card. And what I seemed to find that worked was, once I figured out where it needed to go and kind of pushed, then I folded it and squished just to make sure it was going to stay and not go anywhere. Okay, and then you have your second piece, and you'll kind of put that a little farther back. Paper's just wanting to jump all over the place today, and it's not even the paper's fault. It's my big sausage fingers. Okay, so like so, and then just, I have that a little high. We don't want it to be seen. Okay, and then squish. So there you go. Now you have your two panel pieces. Now you can start figuring out where you want your pandas to be. I wanted my little party guy to be on the back. So I put him, can you see that? I put him on the back piece. So I just need a little bit of glue on his feet because that's all that's going to be glued down. Now the one thing that you want to make sure as you're putting your pandas on your project is that when this closes, excuse me, when this closes, you don't want anything to stick out above or to the sides of your card. And that's because you won't be able to fit it in an envelope. So make sure that when you are placing your pandas, that you put them so that they're not sticking outside of the card, because then, again, like I said, like see this balloon's kind slightly sticking out, but you don't want anything to stick out because then it won't fit in the envelope. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive, and I like to use Tombow for this because like we have a little bit of wiggle room with Tombow, and it just works best for these types of projects. And of course it's a really sticky adhesive too, so your project, you know, will be sturdy and stuck in place. So I just did him kind of in the center of the back, and you will have to just kind of hold it in place for a little bit until some of the glue dries, which is okay. I'm not even going to touch him. I'm just going to let him be. I think my little panda with his balloon, the glue is dry now. So what I can do is put some adhesive on the back of him. Now you need to be careful where you place him because he's got his tall balloon. You want to make sure it's not higher than the card itself. So he should be okay right about there, right about where I'm looking down here. If I glue him right to the ear, it should be good. So I'm going to put some glue on his bottom half of his body, like so. And I'm putting him off to the side here, and we'll just hold him down. I got a little bit of glue. There we go. Just hold him there for a minute. Let him stick to the piece. Okay, so there's him. And then we have our other little guy with the high note, and I thought I'd put him to the side here so you could see him off to the side. So he again only needs some adhesive on his feet. Not too much. I think I've even put too much, so don't put as much as I put. You really don't need very much at all. I'm just gonna squish. See how I did that? Just squished. Because it's kind of hard to get your fingers in there, but if you squish it, it presses them down. And it's just fun to do. Doop, doop. Okay, I'll be done playing around now. Okay, so then you have some more balloons. I gave you more balloons than you need. You got 2 of each color. I did not use 2 of each color. I actually only used 2 of the blue, 2 of the green, and 1 of the white. But you can put as many balloons in here as you want. So you can use them all, or you can keep, not use them all. It's up to you. I think I want to put on this card the big balloon behind our party panda. So I've got my green balloon. I'm going to put that back here. And we've got some little balloons to put around with the pandas. So now, the other thing that you have in your kit, and I didn't even talk about this, is you're going to have a small strip of this window sheet paper, and I need to cut a piece for myself. And the reason that you have that small piece is because one of the balloons I put behind our panda that has the envelope. So see that? And I used a window sheet so that you can't really see it behind, but you can see the balloon up above him. So I have a piece of the window sheet here, and I just need to put some adhesive on the top and on the bottom, and not a lot, just a little. And I'm putting my balloon on one end, and with the window sheet and the wet glue, it does take a few minutes to dry. And we will stick this balloon behind our panda here. Behind and off to the side. Like so. Oh, he's falling. So you have to kind of hold it in place. In this window sheet, the glue takes a little bit longer to dry. Trying to stick my fingers through the bottom there. There. So just gotta hold that for a sec so that it doesn't shift on us. No moving, Mr. Balloon. Okay. We'll let that dry. And then again, you've got to play with the placement of where do you want your other balloon. So I had stuck one there and I wanted it kind of low so I don't hide my other panda's face. You could stick them on the flaps like I did this one in the back. You could stick them on the flaps. You can really do whatever you want. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of my balloon. And I'm sliding him behind the high panda, but in front of that first panel, so it has something to stick to. And I'm just kind of tucking that in there. Yep, all the adhesive is hiding, so that's good. And then on my original card, I stuck my another green balloon back behind the second panel. My panel moved just when I'm trying to show something. Back behind the panda that's holding the balloon up. And I just hit the camera. Sorry guys, getting you seasick. Okay, everything that's gonna go wrong is gonna go wrong on this card. I can see that now on this video. So I've got glue on the back of my balloon, and this time I think I'm gonna stick it in the front of the panel just to cover up that panel. It's just next to my panda. Can you see that? Just stuck him behind there. And then I don't know, maybe I'll use all of them this time. Maybe I'll put that one in the front. I'm just gonna glue it down. Don't want to waste a perfectly good balloon. So you do whatever works for you. If that's too much glitter for you and you hate glitter, don't put any of them. It's totally fine. You can put other things. You could even put little messages. One of them could hold a banner that says happy birthday or anything. So there is your card in a box. Isn't that fun? And then, like I said, it fits inside a standard envelope, and then you can give it to a friend or a loved one, or maybe someone who hates glitter and you hate them. No, I'm just kidding. You'll want to give this to somebody you love. But there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next technique. Thanks. Bye-bye.